Hi again. Many of the safety tips we've been sharing with you are relevant to all home situations, including those who live in manufactured homes and apartment buildings. If you haven't already, I encourage you to take a look at our main Fire and Life safety video, where we provide the important basics to safety, injury prevention, and home security. But there are some differences in the three major living situations, so let's follow up with some specific safety information for those living in apartments. As with any home situation, the biggest challenge to safety is people. So let me start by reminding you that smoking is the #1 cause of fire death in the home. Never smoke in bed, and make sure to put your smoking materials out completely. If you smoke outside, put your cigarette out in a sturdy container. Never drop your cigar or cigarette on a deck made of wood or composite material. And a planter is not a good idea because many planting soils contain peat moss or wood chips that can smolder. The leading cause of home fires? Unattended cooking. So never leave the kitchen while cooking on the stovetop, not even for a second. First and foremost, make sure your apartment has working smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. Don't move in until they're installed and working properly. Test them on a monthly basis to make sure they're working. This one's all good. And replace the batteries every 6 months. Here are some simple, safe practices to follow. Use UL-listed power strips. They protect your electronics and prevent overloaded circuits. Avoid clutter near appliances. Follow the 3-foot rule and keep things that can burn at least 3 feet from heat sources. Clean up cooking surfaces. Food buildup on heating elements can catch fire. Self-cleaning ovens seem like magic, right? I mean, who wants to spend a couple hours after work or on the weekend scraping or scrubbing off burned food? But the way they work is by getting extremely hot to remove the burnt food. So if you're going to use the self-cleaning feature, use the manufacturer's instructions and make sure you pay close attention. Now let's move on to a very important way you can increase your family's chance of survival in a fire. And I'm talking about an escape plan. The plan starts with knowing at least 2 exits that are always accessible that do not include an elevator. And making sure your building manager keeps those exits clear 24/7 and that any doors involved are in good working order. Window security measures such as dowels and window locks can be a good way to prevent intruders. However, if there's a fire, they can keep you from getting out. So make sure these security devices are in good working order and that everyone inside the apartment knows how to unlock or remove them. Speaking of windows, window screens do not prevent children from falling out. Too often, these tragic falls happen from upper levels. Keep kids away from open windows to prevent this tragedy from happening to your family. While laws vary from city to city, and many jurisdictions don't allow it at all, grilling is simply not a good idea on a balcony. We've talked a lot about keeping things that burn 3 feet from a heat source, like a grill. Most balconies, overhangs, railings, and building exteriors are made of wood or are covered with siding that melts and burns quickly. It's a matter of safety for you and your neighbors. Now I'd like to talk to older adults who live in general or senior apartment complexes. First of all, if you live above the ground floor but cannot use a stairwell, make sure someone in the apartment office knows that so they can alert rescue personnel in case of an emergency. Also let them know if you have hearing, vision, or any other disability that would make it difficult for you to follow an escape plan. In the event of a fire in your apartment, follow your escape plan to get out of the building immediately. If there is a fire outside of your apartment and you have a fire sprinkler system, you're generally safer remaining inside your apartment because most often the sprinkler system will contain the fire. In that case, it's best to call 911 and wait till help arrives. If smoke is present in the hallway, use towels or clothing to block openings around doors or vents to keep smoke out. If you have parents who are in the older adult years or are a friend of an older adult, please make sure they understand the information I've just shared. You can also help by paying attention when you visit. If they're smokers, are there scorch marks on furniture, clothing, or bed linens? Are there smoke and carbon monoxide alarms in working order? Can they hear the alarm? Do they practice safe behaviors in the kitchen? Do they remove clutter throughout their home? Do they know what to do in case of an emergency? Talking through these questions can make an important difference in their safety and prevent injury and even death. All apartment dwellers, young and old, need to remember the following. In a fire, most people die from smoke, not from flames. Smoke makes it hard for you to see, and even 2 deep breaths of smoke can make it hard to think clearly or stay awake. You must avoid smoke. The apartment where the fire starts is a dangerous place. Get everyone out and close the door behind you. Fire and smoke move very quickly, and the conditions where you are may change in an instant. Make sure you know your escape options, and once outside, move as far away from the building as possible. Thanks for taking the time to make your apartment safer for yourself, your family, and your neighbors. If you have any questions or want to know more about any aspect of home safety, please contact your local fire department. Thanks for watching, and be safe.